Here's Brody Brazil.
I go back and look at, since we brought her up, Libby Schaaf. I mean, over all the years, and you could genuinely see she has bonded a relationship with the A's and Dave Cavill, a professional relationship of working together and trying to get this project to become a reality. How do we evaluate what she's done for the project? Because unfortunately, she's not going to be the one to ultimately see it through as mayor, but she did push the football pretty far up this field.
And I know we're going to get to Rob Manfred later in this video, but she also maintained a relationship with him, and that's critical too.
Yep.
You've noticed that he's complimented her many times over throughout this process, so that is critical as well. Where I really noticed a difference here, and you can tell me if you agree, is there was a time around last July where it was very combative. We didn't know what was going to happen with that big July 20th showdown.
Right.
Dave Cavill was everywhere all the time on every station that would allow him on, talking. There's just a lot of noise going on. The parallel paths were fired up. There's just a lot happening. Really, when I saw the biggest change in messaging in organization and kind of made everything copacetic is when Libby Schaaf became that mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Like, she really started stepping up and being the one that was the voice of everything. And when that happened, it calmed everything down dramatically, right? Like, before it was chaos.
That's a great point.
And then she kind of just said, you know what, I'm going to take this ball and roll with it. Quiet down. I'll handle the city. I'll talk to the commissioner. I'll talk to the A's. And that is really where things, to me, became a lot friendlier, so to speak. It wasn't like a battle. It was almost like, hey, we're all on the same team here.
Right. It's cordial.
So I credit her a lot for that.
And I also feel like looking at how the rest of Oakland has handled this project, and some of the city staff, by the way, have been tremendous. Smalley Mayburn, like the way that she's presented and analyzed things. There have been, I'm not going to knock the entire city of Oakland, but maybe to your point, without her leadership and at least settling down an organization, and let's everybody take a step back and look at this and then reapproach it. If it wasn't for her doing that, I don't know that we're here right now. I think Oakland might have just turned their shoulder and walked away from this entire thing. And not to say that they should have ever done that. They've got a lot to gain here. But I think it was maybe intimidating to join in on this conversation if it wasn't for her. So again, I look back and I know some people will instantly knock her and say, during your tenure, the Raiders left, the Warriors left, and the A's are not certain as you leave office. But I'll be honest. I mean, one team was like the Warriors made their decision and there wasn't even much of a talk about it. Like, we're leaving. See you later. And it's because San Francisco and Chase Center is what it is. And their ownership wanted that. And they've also played in other parts.
And they had the rights. Like, they had the rights to go there.
They had the ability to do it.
Yeah.
And really, it's not leaving the region. It's just relocating a different neighborhood in the Bay Area. It is Oakland losing a team, no doubt. But the Raiders were they have been the Raiders for decades, right? They've done dysfunctional things for years. And so I'm not even necessarily going to pin that on her either. Some people will. I don't think it's fair. Mm-hmm. I think in this, her last chance to save the last team, I look at it like she's done basically everything she can. So that's my take.
Agree. I would agree with that too. And I think that people see teams leaving Oakland and they try to put them all in one bucket. But each situation was so different, as you mentioned. And we really have to say, I mean, the Raiders were offered $750 million of public funds to go to Vegas. Nobody in their right mind would offer them that here, or should have offered them that here. And it was going to be impossible to beat that when it came. So,
and I think that's the thing too. You and I look at this project, and if it were a bad deal for the city of Oakland, the county of Alameda, our region in general, how could you and I get behind this like we do and put out the information like we do if there was something that was just like, oh, that's awkward and terrible? There's a lot of things that are not maybe perfect, but they're still great that Oakland can benefit from. So I credit Libby Schaaf on seeing that, being cordial with that, and getting us this far.